succeed in this area, in a much easier fashion. So I had the pleasure of giving this presentation throughout the world to several audiences right now, and they were absolutely blown away with the with this hack, and they couldn't even believe that this is possible. They were literally just blown away. And hopefully, guys, by the end of this presentation, you're going to see and you're going to think completely differently about forex trading, just in general, and you will actually learn the best way to trade forex as of this today. I don't know any other better way to tackle the forex trading sort of secret to success. So we'll look at the weird forex trading hack that's currently making us 100% ROI, so insane ROIs with this hack, and how to find winning strategies without losing money on systems that don't work. Also, we'll be looking at the 3 secrets to profitable forex trading. These are essentially sort of the 3 pillars that allow all of this to happen. And as I said, you'll just see how much easier this will make your life in forex trading. So I'm really excited to share with you, and Ramantas also sends his regards as well. So my lawyers tell me also got to have the slide. Basically, we need to let you know that you're going to see specific behind-the-scene tests that we have run that are earning over 100% or below with forex trading right now. Our results are certainly not typical, and the average person on any trading will get 0 results, mainly because they don't go actually implement all this stuff. However, we're happy to show you what's working for us for free. You don't have to pay to be on this webinar or anything like that. So we're showing this for free, so I'm really glad and excited to actually share with you guys. And because I value your time and appreciate you for being here, let's get this out of the way quickly for who this is for. So this is for existing forex traders already using trading strategies. So maybe you've been trying but you haven't been successful yet. So the chances are that if you are any type of forex trader, you're using some kind of strategy. And if you have been successful to a degree, and you found it, maybe you have been successful but you have found it hard to scale, you can get things working on small accounts, small deposit, but as soon as you try to increase things, whether it's your lot size or your deposit, your strategy goes to hell. And this seems to happen to you more often than not. So also forex traders looking for a good strategy that don't have one yet that's working. You want to have a reliable, predictable stream of revenue that you can scale. Also, maybe you don't have a trading strategy, but you're passionate about trading, and you want to know that, and you don't know where to basically focus your time and energy to accomplish all your goals. And you're going to discover today a strategic approach, basically this hack that will allow you to essentially do just that. And it's going to show you essentially where to focus your time and energy, because most people, when they start out, and I remember when I started out, it can be very overwhelming, and you tend to go down the wrong path. And yeah, so in the next 45 minutes, I'm gonna go over why the common advice is absolutely detrimental to your success. In fact, it's the #1 reason you failed at trading previously, and it's not your fault. It's just what everyone else is peddling out there with the common advice, or all the other gurus and so on. And the chances are that if you are starting out right now in forex trading, you're probably going down the wrong path already, and you're setting up yourself for failure. So I'm going to show you sort of the complete opposite way of what most gurus teach. And what they teach is usually a huge success killer, and I'm going to show you what is the best possible way to trade, and how to have a reliable, predictable flow of trading strategies that you can use to trade the markets profitably. So if you stay until the end, I'm going to show you guys the demonstration of our secret weapon that helps us do all of this and find sort of the best strategies really fast as well. And so make sure you stay until the end to see this. And you can also stop all your old school forex trading tactics, observing and finding and testing different strategies one by one, manually. Something I used to do at some point, combining indicators and hoping for success. I did that as well. Trying to catch the big movements on news. Did that maybe 3 years later. Backtesting and optimizing strategies to find a perfect equity curve. A lot of people sort of get stuck in this phase. Buying strategies you cannot trust and hoping they will work. A lot of people think they can just buy a forex robot or some strategy, put it there and it's going to work. You can put and then to chasing the market, because that's essentially what most people are doing. They're trying to chase the market, and you want to start trading the way you desire, and to have a lot more control in your forex trading than you currently do. So essentially, what you need to know to make at least 100% ROI in forex trading without guesswork or wasting money. So quickly, some housekeeping items for this webinar. Turn off all the other programs you're running. That tends to help with all the bandwidth for the video streaming, because that does take up a lot. So if you close all the other tabs and windows, especially Facebook, because it's very distracting, and Skype as well, so I want to have your attention because I'm giving you guys mine as well. So please try to focus. There's going to be some really good stuff here, some very valuable content that we've prepared for you as well. So some quick house rules as well. This is not get rich quick scheme or some tactic. It just doesn't exist. Get that out of your head. It doesn't exist. This is not black box trading. You probably heard of that. You have like a trading machine where information goes into this black box, and then information goes out and it makes a bunch of money. So this is not that. This is not binary options, where a lot of people are peddling right now and scamming others and so on. This is not binary options. Pretty much most of it is a scam. This is not forex signals or account management. This is not high frequency trading, which is very, very difficult for most people to do anyway. You would have to have a lot of resources to be able to even do that. This is not scalping or some gambling trading technique like martingale grid, trying to game the system. This is not that. Although you could use what I'm going to teach you for scalping to an extent as well, but essentially that's not what we focus on in our sort of tactics a lot. So this is not some forex robot you can buy to make some money strategy. Also, this is not 100% profit with zero risk guaranteed. With every risk, there is with every sort of risk there's a return. There is just no such thing in life, actually, even in anything where you have zero risk and 100% guarantee on very, very great returns. So one thing you must be doing though is willing to invest money to make money. That's just how it is in forex trading. You must be willing to put money in the account and actually invest that money, trade that money to make that money. That's essentially all you need to be able to do. Real quick, so what's a trading strategy? A trading strategy is a consistent plan that is designed to achieve a profitable return by going long, that's buying, or going short, that's selling in the market. So if you don't know what that is, just to get everyone on the same page very, very quickly, that's a trading strategy. Let me get my laser pen out there. So essentially you buy when the two moving averages that we have here in the graph, they form a trading strategy, and when they cross there's a buy signal. When they close, the buy signal is opposite, so you have a sell signal. So you close the buy and you open the sell, and then you do again the opposite here, and then you do the opposite here. So essentially that's a very, very simple trading strategy based on moving averages, where essentially when those moving averages meet and cross over, there is a signal, and that's where you place your trades or you close your trades. That's essentially a very, very sort of simple, that's not what I'm going to be teaching you guys, is just to get you on the same page. That's just what a trading strategy is in its sort of most simplest sort of form. So for those of you who don't know us, we're the founders of Auto Trading Academy. We have created tens of thousands of trading strategies in the sort of last sort of decade. We've doubled and tripled countless accounts now. We've been doing this again over the last sort of decade. And we generated over 250K in this business, $250,000 in this business last year alone, this sort of forex trading world. And we've helped over 2,000 students now already to create their own trading edge, to create their own trading strategies. And we have a framework that helps traders do that, clarify their trading, and build their own strategies really fast. Remontas is also, my partner, co-founder of Auto Trading Academy, is also the creator of Trade Copier software. So he's a very, very good programmer, and he's created also many other tools from the Trader 4 platform. And this is essentially his skills and sort of our research has allowed us to formulate this hack to to it, to something that no one has ever seen before, and we'll show you that, guys, in just a minute. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt this way before? I've got a great indicator, strategy, robot, or system that makes money, but it's not enough extra income to pay the bills. I want to get it out there in a bigger way, and I know scaling with more strategies and deposits can help me do that. However, every time I try, it doesn't work. I just keep losing money and getting little no return. It's super frustrating. Or I've spent a bunch of money and fine-tuning my killer Forex strategy just to find out its poor backtest results. I thought it would solve all my trading problems. Now I desperately need a profitable strategy, but I don't know how to find one easily. Or I like the idea of trading to make extra income, and however, there's so many different options and choices out there, I get overwhelmed and I don't know where to start. Plus, I'm seriously afraid of losing a bunch of money. Or I can get strategies to bring in cash well at small deposits, but scaling with bigger trades usually gets me a margin call or massive slippage. How can I grow my strategies properly? I don't know how to have a strategy or system, but I have a passion for trading. I'm looking for the best strategy and the best possible way for me to make money in Forex trading. So we're going to move really quick, and if you've been to one of our sort of trainings or events before, you'll know we have a framework that helps traders build their own strategies really fast, and I mean really fast. I'm convinced that most trading, certainly for the 2,000 or so students that have come from our shop, that most trading is just a waste of their money, and literally just a waste of the money, even if it's technically done really well. And here's why. Most of you know what this is like. We're taught in the Forex industry that it's all about strategy. Strategy, is sort of the main thing that brings you profits, as long as you have, the combination of strategy plus profitable trades. So, that's how you get success. So what does this mean? That means that most traders, or most people out there that, start trading in actually any area, it doesn't even have to be Forex. They go out there, for research basically, and they go on a huge hunt to find the holy grail strategy that is going to bring them success. And this is basically where the rabbit hole begins. Blue pill, red pill. They test all sorts of technical indicators. This is actually just pretty much how I began as well. Testing all sorts of technical indicators, online strategies, news trading, combining stuff together, just reading online all sorts of other strategies. And most of this and this is the reason why most of the trading is a waste of the money, because of this testing. And that's really the key. Most trading is a waste of the money because of this testing. Because if they think about it, the odds of finding this holy grail or good strategy is very, very small. And most people don't realize how expensive that testing really is. And not just in terms of money, but also time, and emotions and frustration and relationships and so on. It can destroy a marriage as well. So it's very expensive in many, many aspects, and most people fall into this trap of costly, never-ending testing, the search for the best strategy. And that's the thing that gets them into trouble. They also fall into something that's even worse, if they're doing things manually. That's testing, every idea that comes to their head, or anything they've read online, and then not testing it out properly, and as soon as it stops working, they test out a new thing, and then as soon as that stops working, they test out a new thing. So as long as it makes them a few bucks here and there with the first few trades, they start using that strategy, and then it sort of fails, and then go on to a new one. So I call this the concept of strategy switching. So not only are humans really bad at testing, they don't realize that this testing is really, really expensive. But if you think about it, it's so stupid, because we go out there trying to find this holy grail, but we don't realize that we're not even very good at doing any of this testing in the first place. So you start doing strategy switching, and you never actually end up focusing on the right sort of areas. You're just always switching strategy between strategy. So how the hell are you going to find a holy grail, that way? And we discovered this the hard way. We've discovered it in many, many different facets. Blew several accounts, lost quite a bit of money. Don't even know how much by now, but essentially we've gone down this route, and we know how difficult and frustrating it is. And that's sort of the hard way to finding a good strategy. That really is the hard way. I would probably say the impossible way. You know, you've got to come up with a bunch of ideas. If you really break it down, most people do it. They come up with a bunch of ideas to test, to find a good strategy. But if you really think about it, the secret, that is the secret. Testing. You've got to have lots of ideas and test them out. How else are you going to find it unless we can steal one? You can steal an idea or steal a strategy. But most people, that's how they do it. They come up with the ideas, they test them out themselves, and then if they get good at all the testing, they do all the optimization, improvement, and they do that as well themselves, which is very, very difficult. To find that good strategy. So you can think of it in terms of two conflicting sort of concepts and ideas. You got to do the testing to find these strategies, but it's very, very expensive. So how the hell do we do this? So take an example of let's say you had a warehouse of 50,000 apples, and you wanted to find out which one tastes the best. The taste is specific. It's like a strategy, like any other thing. You've got every trader is different, has his own objectives, preferences, risk tolerance. Let's say you want to find the apple that tastes the best for you. So what, you're going to go and eat every single apple now, the 50,000 apples, to find that apple? It's a very similar example. It's like finding a needle in the haystack. So we've been doing this for the past decade, and we've learned a lot from this. We've done a lot of things right, and we've succeeded in many aspects, but we've also done a lot more things wrong. And we found a way to replace this idea component. How do you sort of get rid of these ideas? How do you sort of change this whole process? And we found a way to do the testing as well, and sort of replace yourself as a tester, and found a way to speed everything up to a certain scale that you will not even believe that is possible. So once you understand how to operate trading strategies profitably, you'll be able to simply just get and optimize your strategies around the profits you expect. You'll be able to actually control the strategies that you have and have a constant flow of them working the markets for you instead of trying to chase it. And you'll also gain predictability and control in your trading, in your strategies. And when the lucky wins come in, they're just icing on the cake. They're not something you rely on to sustain your trading, which is what a lot of people do to this date. So you'll be in demand, when you actually understand this whole thing, because everyone needs this. Everyone needs a good trading strategy, and once you have that, you can monetize that asset. You can monetize that wealth in so many different ways. Once you've got a good strategy, you can do Forex signals if you wish. You can sell it, you can use it yourself. There are so many different things, and I'll show you a way on how to get an unlimited amount of these strategies very, very fast. So want the easy way that doesn't require going through all of this process yourself. In the past sort of year, our students have gotten strategies over 100% ROI, and they didn't even create or test anything themselves. So here's a word from one of our students. I'm very excited and positive with the results I'm seeing this early into my strategy creation. Keep up the work. Great work, guys. So this is Ryan, a great guy. There's another student who was literally stuck in MQL4 coding before. Thanks, guys. If I didn't get into the course, I didn't think we'll be chasing the wind, digging so much MQL4 coding, in short, heading in the wrong direction. Thanks. We're glad you love your course. Yes, without your course, I cannot have my free live accounts, one demo account with performance of 130% gain in 3 months and increasing. Thanks for the course. For me, it's worth the money I paid for. And for us guys, 130% is awesome. Congratulations. Keep it up. So how do you do this? How do you get strategies like this? And how do you get them easily, with just a few clicks? And that brings us to the secrets, the free secrets of Forex hacking. And we'll go with this sort of right now. The first one is you got to stop trying to predict the future, because this is what everyone is trying to do when they're testing stuff out, when they're buying strategies, whatever the approach they're using to sort of make money in Forex trading. Most of the time they're trying to predict what's going to happen, and you gotta stop doing that, and you gotta choose the best possible way to trade, even if you just know the basics. And then we'll look at how to abandon your ideas and replace that with the casting of a big fish net. And I'll show you a way how to easily find unlimited trading strategies and opportunities in under 10 minutes using our machine gun technique. Then I'll show you our #1 Forex hack that is essentially, you're gonna be absolutely blown away by this. It's gonna 10x your trading success, save you an insane amount of time, making everything just 10 times faster and easier. So this brings us to sort of the first secret. You've got to stop trying to predict the future. So what do we mean by that? How to trade Forex in the best possible way when you just know the basics? Well, if we go back to sort of the context, everything comes down to trading strategy, as we discussed. And essentially there's 3 approaches to Forex trading. And Forex trading is usually a shackle between technical analysis and fundamental analysis, and those 2 areas can be used in combination of both or separately. And most traders, they fall into these 2 sort of categories. And essentially the biggest problem, as I said, with any of these, there's just way too many strategies, ideas to test out, and most people just end up strategy switching. Also, it's hard to test them out properly because if you're doing this manually, you're just a very, very inconsistent and unreliable tester. Very hard to quantify and measure sort of the results from your tests and actually make any decisions. So you've got to base yourself from a data perspective, a strategic, you've got to almost become like a data scientist. And that brings us to the third approach, is you've got to automate your trading. It's sort of the key #1 step. That's just the first step. You've got to automate your trading. Here's Wally over there. You just got to do it, because manual trading is just very, very difficult. It's possible. I know quite a few guys who are doing very well, but it's very, very difficult. You are working the market, grinding yourself there. If you have a job, like I have a job, usually it's not possible. You've got to be a full-time trader to actually make money there. The testing is very, very difficult and inconsistent, hard to measure. You've got to have a lot of discipline. You've got to have a very good plan, and it's almost impossible to trade to trade many strategies at the same time and also test them out and handle many different instruments at the same time. And plus, one thing I remember I really didn't like about manual trading is that every time I lost, there's such huge emotional drawdowns from all this trading, and then you're trying to get back at the market with a new win, and so on. So you're always grinding yourself for all those losses. And the main reason is because you're the one who's making the decisions. You're involved in the decision making, and that's sort of the main reason. You've got to automate your trading, because that removes you from the decision making process, and usually will remove you from all the mistakes that are being made in Forex trading. So when you automate stuff, which is basically the first step to the best possible way to trade, you'll have robots working for you. You can actually handle a side job, which is very, very important, because you need reserve capital to actually trade Forex. You don't want to invest all your life savings in Forex, because it's just a not good idea. So it's good to have that income on the side. It's very easy to test strategies out. There's plenty of tools out there that can do this, and they can do it very, very fast. It's very quantifiable, measurable. So you become almost like a tester, sort of like a data scientist. You've got to approach it from a data perspective, and automated trading allows you to do that. It keeps, the robots, they keep their own discipline and consistency. They don't make the mistakes that you would make. They always follow the rules, and you can trade thousands of them around the clock once you get good at making a lot of them. And I'll show you a way of how to literally make thousands of them. Also, you'll be able to handle multiple markets very quickly, and you won't be actually experiencing as much emotional impact, because you're not the one making the decisions. You won't be grinding yourself for that mistake that you made. You still have emotions in automated trading, but it's just nowhere near as big, because you're not the one responsible for that loss directly. So trial and error, what I found, and what we found, we've tested thousands of these, and literally tens of thousands, if not millions, of these strategies out. in the past sort of years. And in order to find the good ones, you got to be willing to test and find lots of bad ones. But how the hell do you make this whole process much more efficient and just more strategic and actually beneficial? Because even automated trading, when you switch, it's not that easy. So that brings us to the second secret, where you've got to abandon your ideas. And you know, if we go back to the sort of issue that the sort of essentials, the two concepts, that you gotta come up with ideas, and you gotta test them out to find the Holy Grail or a good strategy. There's sort of two essentials, and if you remove yourself from the testing process, essentially automating everything, and you remove yourself from the generation of ideas in terms of trading, strategy ideas. That's the key, and I'll show you how to do that. So you've got to abandon yourself. You've got to abandon those ideas. You've got to abandon and remove yourself from the idea generation process in general. And instead, you've got to think of trading as casting a huge fish net in a sea, and then picking out the tuna, the good strategies. Most people approach Forex trading, like a fisherman. They go out there with a fishing rod, and they try and find catch a few fish, and they think it's going to work. But you gotta, if you want to have success, you've got to do this in a different way. You've got to cast a huge net, and then pick out the good ones. So I'll show you that way. That's essentially the secret to finding unlimited trading strategies in 10 minutes in using the machine gun technique. So once you understand this process, you'll see that trying to do things hand by hand, the truth is just very difficult. And that's the old way. A lot of people are still using it, but that's just the old way right now, the way we see it. Manual strategy creation is very difficult, time-consuming, requires programming skills or builders or technical skills, and a lot of different tools as well. So if you want to learn, if you wanted to actually learn this process, I won't go over all of this, but it's difficult. You gotta. The truth is, you gotta learn the basics. You gotta research ideas. You gotta come up with ideas. You're gonna design the rules, put those rules into tradable rules, because not all of them can be traded. Then you gotta set up your testing environment, actually backtest, download the data, test those strategies out, become a data scientist, and start actually doing things properly. So those are the sort of first steps here to automation. Actually becoming a data scientist and testing things out. And then you sort of go on to optimizing and improving those strategies and finding sort of the good ones. And then you go there to test the robustness and how tough your strategy is. And then, if those tests pass, you go on to trade. That's basically the whole process, and it is quite lengthy. It can take you from 3 to 6 months to find the really good strategy, or depending really how good you are. But the truth is here, the main things that I've seen from all the thousands of students that come through our shop is that most people fail is because they don't actually launch anything live. It's because they get stuck somewhere in between the process here, whether they get stuck here, or they get stuck here, or they get stuck here. Either they don't know how to do the programming, they don't know how to do the back testing, or they get stuck in optimization, or they don't even know how to do robustness. And most of them, they don't launch anything live because they don't trust their strategies. There's too much fear, and you don't want to risk your money and lose it, and so on. So too many people who are even good at this are actually good at this, they end up just focusing, because of that, end up focusing on finding the best equity curve, the best strategy, the best backtest. And they get stuck in this phase, analysis, optimization, improvement, and they never actually end up, of coming out of there because of perfectionism, because you're trying to find the best strategy to put your money in, and so you get stuck here for a very, very long time, going around in circles, optimizing, and so on. So that's basically just what I've seen, and there's 3 reasons why most people shouldn't ever start trading Forex like everyone else. For one, and this is a very important one, you're way too busy because of a day job or other activities like being with your family or spending time with your friends, that you don't want to be glued to the screen 24/7. And that's just the reality. If you want to be a full-time Forex trader, trading it manually, whether the fundamentals or technicals, you pretty much got to have a full-time job for that. And also, you really don't want to learn about this complex strategy creation process, because you probably aren't particularly good at maths or finance, or you certainly don't want to learn programming and spend the last 10 years digging, MQL4 or any other programming language. So don't want to do that. And if you are a smart guy, a tech guy like Raymond does, you don't want to spend your days, and trust me, you can ask them this yourself, you don't want to spend your days programming, creating strategies, backtesting, optimizing them yourself, doing all this yourself, that whole sort of process, coming up with the ideas one by one, and then finding out that they just don't work. Most of the strategies, they just don't work. So how, you don't want to get to that stage. And we absolutely hate like programming and all this stuff, because it's just a waste of time, really. So our goal was to find an easy way to do all of this, and just to make it simple, so that we don't have to do it. And finally, as we present this to you guys, you won't have to do it as well. And it's going to be a real difference, I think, for a lot of people. So this new method had these features. It basically had to have these features when we were looking at conceptually. Essentially, you had to be able to create an unlimited number of strategies, so you don't have to spend your days creating them all. So essentially, an idea generation sort of system. And also, you had to have the ability to test all of them out. Like shitload of strategies, to test them out really, really fast. Millions of them. So you don't have to do the testing yourself, which is very time consuming. Also, it had to be very easy and simple to use, so the whole process could be accessed from anywhere in the world, on the internet, and just generally be easy to use, because the process is very important. So also, it had to require zero programming or math skills and be a complete white box. What I mean by white box is that you can see all the trading rules and how things works, and all the settings and so on. So, as Steve Jobs said, simple can be a lot harder than complex. You have to work really hard to get your thinking clean and simple. And we worked really hard, for the last couple of years to sort of bring all of these ideas together. And we've been trying to perfect the iPhone, in trading, basically. Until today, pretty much what most people are doing, and what we're proposing, was just simply not possible until now. It doesn't have to be that way. We've got a new sort of process that we developed, and we'll show you a demo of our secret weapon, basically, that allows you to do this. It's a 3-step funnel process, and it's called the Forex Robot Factory, and essentially allows you to do all of this. You've got the idea generation process in the sort of cloud, and effectively we've removed, you have to remove yourself and abandon your idea. So we've done that. We've removed ourselves from the idea creation process, and we've basically found a way how to come up with these ideas. So essentially, this little cloud comes up with those ideas, and the engine basically finds strategies for you, filters and collects the good strategies for you, just basically filters out the ones that are good, and all you need to do basically is just pick and sort of trade them, and that's pretty much it. And that's all located inside a web-based application you can access online or any internet browser, called the Forex Robot Factory. And essentially, the way it works is that here we have a random generation process of different building blocks, take profit, stop losses, entry, exit rules from all different indicators. You plug in your data here, and you choose your time period, basically choose the settings you want to use. And this basically just generates millions and millions of ideas for you, this whole engine. And then they're all tested for you. And then all you need to do is just pick out and collect the ones that suit your needs, and then pick and trade. That's essentially how simple this process works. The ideas come in, the engine tests them all out, picks the good ones, puts them in a collection for you, basically filters them all out, and then all you need to do is just pick them out of the collection and trade according to the ones you like. So now I'm going to quickly show you a demonstration inside the sort of app. So let me go ahead and switch to a different window just to show you how this all works. Okay, so I'm inside my internet browser now. I'm using Google Chrome, and as I said, this works on any internet browser. It's online, it's web-based, so you can access it from anywhere in the world. And let me just go ahead and move to my other tab here in Chrome. And that's pretty much it. The app is very, very simple and easy to use. As I said, you can access it from anywhere in the world. It works with Internet Explorer, Firefox, whatever browser you use. I recommend Chrome because it's the fastest. And all you got to do, in its simplest form, with the Robot Factory, you just press start, and it will automatically create hundreds and hundreds of strategies for you in a split second, and backtest them on the available data that you've got plugged in here, and so on. So it's automated creation and automated backtesting. So how does that work? How does the sort of creation work? Well, it's a random generation algorithm that technically speaking is optimized to calculate specifically designed strategies with a predefined sort of structure and indicators. And this structure allows it to save a lot of CPU and do the right calculations at the right times and make all of this, lightning fast. And essentially, it uses your settings that you choose here, the strategy properties, take profit, stop loss parameters, your indicators that you choose, and it basically randomly selects them within a certain range in the predefined structure and backtest them out automatically. And that's why it's so fast. And essentially, you've got the whole idea sort of generator here doing all the work for you, everything 100% done for you, with all the creation and the backtesting. All you've got to do is essentially set up your preferences, basically what you want out of it, and that's it. So if you want, very, very specific strategies, certain indicators, then all you got to do is, go to the indicator section, disable all the indicators, and use, specific indicators you might want to use. Let's say these ones, and maybe this exit rule and that exit rule. And then go in the generator, maybe choose a specific range for the take profit, sort of the stop losses. So maybe maximum of 100 pip stop loss, and and the maximum of 200 pip take profit. And entry lots. You can also set it to search for best net balance or profit factor or return to drawdown, and click generate. And then you can also fine tune how tight the sort of filtering criteria is, because all the strategies, the good ones, they fall into your collection, but they go through a filtering process, of dismissal. And this is sort of regulated in the acceptance criteria. What strategies are you going to accept to fall into your collection? And essentially here, if we stop it, you can set a minimum count of trades of 200, minimum net profit of, let's say, 600, minimum equity drawdown of, let's say, 30, and that will be your sort of bottleneck in the bottle. And according to that, you've got a limitation of 100 strategies in your bottle. And you can use the sort of sort criteria here. So let's say return to drawdown, and it will basically, according to this sort criteria, it will replace those strategies in the collection according to the metric that you want to optimize for. So it could just be profit factor or profit per day and so on. And if there is a strategy that you really like, very, very simple, you click on it and you can just export it to MetaTrader 4 code or MetaTrader 5, and you're ready to trade. Just drop it on the chart, and you've got yourself a trading strategy robot, all done for you, pre-coded in a special template with all the rules that you can see, change. The code is yours. You can do anything with the code, change it, add your own rules, whatever. Everything is yours, basically. You can do anything what you want with it, and essentially that's pretty much it. If you want to go inside the sort of specifics of the rules, you can do that. You can see what the rules the robot uses. You can have a look at the balance chart. You can have a look at all the trades. So all the intricate details are here if you want to inspect visually, because a lot of the guys, are very technical, and it's very good to see visually, where the trades happen. So I can see there's a trade here, there's a trade there. I can see it's using envelopes, stochastics, and momentum. As I can see, there's a, if I sort of scroll back, you can see there's a trade here, open, sort of close, according to certain rules here, and so on. So you can also have a look at the stats info of what sort of data you're using. I'm using FX Open data here with this amount of bars, this time period, the spread, the swap, this commission, and so on. So it's very, very intricate, and that is all being pulled from the broker data that you import. So when you go into choosing your historical data, you can actually so all of this, the best thing about all of it is that it's actually being, all these robots and strategies are being created on your broker's data feed, and you're basically extracting that data and you're putting in here with a special script that you simply download here, drop it on the chart, and you drag and drop all the data here. Very, very simple 3-step process. Once you've got the data, you can just create robots fine-tuned to your broker's data feed, which is basically the best thing that you want. Data's always been an issue, and this is one way to make something very specific on certain brokers' data feeds. Now, by default, we've got MetaTrader Demo in there, constantly updating, and if you go to a strategy, you can actually in real time change data, and you can see everything updates to a new data set, and it backtests it again. You can basically have a bunch of brokers' data in here, and you can see how your strategy will perform on different brokers' data. You can use different currency pairs, instruments, different time periods, and it will automatically update all of that stuff in here. So this editor is extremely powerful in terms of being able to pretty much change anything you want. The rules, you can change let's change the level here, for example. That didn't happen too much. Let's go back to let's delete one of the rules. You can see let's change something here. Everything updates automatically in real time, and you can remove all the rules if you wish altogether, and create your own strategy manually if you wish as well. Obviously there's a limitation of the indicators you can use from sort of this huge list, but to be honest, I don't recommend doing any of that. It's a waste of time trying to create your own indicators. The generator will do a much better job than you in creating these trading strategies, than you wasting your time trying to build something yourself. So there's something that might take a really good programmer to make a strategy for you. This can do literally in a split second. So you can go ahead, and fire your programmer. This basically makes most people's engineering skills pretty much useless in terms of MetaTrader here as well. Now also we have this for CTrader and CAlgo, and there's one in development for NinjaTrader as well, for Ninja script, and this one works the robots for MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5. You can also share the strategies with a special code as well, and that's pretty much it in terms of that. And when you actually like a strategy and you want to, let's say, optimize it, which is something you might wish to do, you can do that in the optimizer over here. Just click start, and it will automatically optimize the strategy for you according to a special optimization algorithm, and you can see how it's improved that strategy very, very fast. Of course, you've got to be careful optimization, not to over optimize, and that's what the sort of robustness tests are here for in the Monte Carlo section, and we'll sort of look at that in a different a little bit later on. And essentially that's sort of the main features. You've got the generator, automated creation, automated backtesting, everything 100% done for you in terms of that. Don't need to worry about anything. Just set up your preferences of what you want in terms of your acceptance criteria. What robots do you want to fall into your collection, and then just choose them. Check anything you want in terms of the editor, and export the robot to trade live. So very, 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 very powerful stuff. There's over 30 indicators in there, as I mentioned. Again, no programming required, which is sort of the best thing about it. And I think if you're really hung up on optimization, which a lot of people are, this optimization module does it in a split second for you. If you do want to fiddle with it, you can. That's why you can change all the things here as well. You can change all the steps and so on. But to be honest, most things you can just click start and it will pretty much do everything for you. And you can always do robustness tests afterwards to check that you haven't over-optimized your strategy and so on. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys sort of like this quick sort of demo. I try to really pack it in here, and I'm going to quickly move back to the sort of presentation. I'm going to show you something even more crazy, which is one of the features here in the reactor mode, and that's going to absolutely blow your minds when we sort of get into it. So let's get back to the presentation quickly and move in. Okay guys, I hope you like the quick demo of the Forex Robot Factory. It literally is the secret weapon and the best way to creating and testing out trading strategies very, very fast without having to come up with the ideas yourself or having to test them manually one by one. So you guys getting this? The two sort of biggest components of trading strategy development are literally gone, all just done for you with a couple of clicks. And this is only possible because of the random generation algorithm here that you are effectively using to create strategies for you. You just put in your preferences of what you want, indicators you want to use, and all that is done for you. The backtesting engine is very fast, test them all out, and then the bad ones are filtered through, the good ones fall into a collection, and then all you need to do is just pick and trade the ones according to your preferences that you like, export them into code, and there you go, you've got yourself an automated trading strategy that you can use. So it's a sort of a funnel principle, because right at the top you've got a huge universe of unlimited potential of strategies that is that can be created. Because if you think about it, there's 30 indicators in there, and there's around 210 rules in those indicators, and if you include take profit and stop losses and all the parameters for all those indicators, there are literally trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of different possible strategies that you can get. So you don't need to worry about trying to find the same ones or any of that stuff. There is so many unique variants in there, and that's why it's such a beautiful approach. Also, a really good thing is that you can focus that machine gun, the backtester, on certain areas that you prefer, to narrow that logic space if you wish as well. So really, really great stuff, effectively, and a very nice way of fishing strategies out, using, casting a big fish net to catch fish. It's a much more effective way instead of using a fishing rod. In a big sea of trading strategies, that's effectively what you're doing with this method. You're casting a big fish net. So going back to our secret, abandoning your ideas and using something else to find those ideas for you by using random generation and casting a big fish net. So one of our students here is what I had to say about this sort of method. Hi guys, I agree with you. The random search is the most effective way to create new strategies, but the improvement optimization has its place when it comes to testing some interesting trading ideas that are posted on forums like Forex Factory. With the help, it's just fun to reveal within a short time if those trading ideas will work or not. By the way, videos are great. Even experienced strategy testers can lift their knowledge to a new level. So all I'm saying, guys, once you sort of get the hang of this method, and once you understand it, you will not want to turn back. It literally is a paradigm shift in understanding how to develop strategies without essentially wasting time on most of all of those irrelevant processes. So I wanted to also quickly talk to you about the secret to any sort of system, and this goes back to sort of any business, and in any business like a hotel, restaurant, or a factory. If you take any business, the real sort of thing that brings value and brings cash flow for the company is usually the system in place. And if that system were to disappear, then the whole sort of business would fall apart. It's the same in trading. The thing that brings in the value, the cash flow, is the trading strategy, so sort of the most valuable asset. And everything relies on that system, and that's sort of a very big secret to business. But the real secret to actually scaling it and multiplying that wealth, 10 times, 10x, and scaling that business, as happened with a lot of these car factories, is automation. So that's the real secret ingredient, and that's automation. So a lot of the businesses that can't be scalable, can't be automated, are very, very hard to scale, and usually those companies tend to grow at a much slower rate. Usually the businesses that can be automated very easily can be scaled very, very quickly, and you see this all over the world now happening with lots of different companies, and so on. Just look at the cars, bloody hell, what happened, you know. Probably the only thing that was automated before was just the the tracks for the cars to sort of roll on, and now every single part of the process is pretty much automated, you know. And when you do that, it allows you to focus, you know, on different areas, such as, you know, selling those cars and, you know, building sort of front end of the business, and so on. So this brings us to sort of our next secret, and that is the sort of the third secret, our number one Forex hack. How do you sort of 10x your trading success by using a strategy funnel and making everything 10 times easier? So this sort of builds on top of the funnel that we looked at before, but it sort of adds a whole new level to it, and you'll see sort of very, very soon coming up, what I'm going to show you is going to completely blow your mind. So if you thought what you just saw was pretty damn amazing, you're going to be absolutely blown away what we're going to reveal to you in just a minute. Okay, so how do we make all of this, you know, much easier for ourselves? And I'm going to look at a few concepts here, one related to stress testing and the other one to automation. So you got your automated creation, you got your automated testing, you got all of these training strategies and robots now, but how can we, you know, pick out the best strategies out of the collection that they're going to have the best chance to perform in the future, you know, given that, you know, the markets are always changing? And that's sort of the golden question, because essentially, you know, we can tackle that question with robustness tests and stress tests, and you can think of that like next step as a layer of, you know, quality control in your development process. So you can also imagine it like a scenario in real life. You know, let's say you know nothing about phones, and you walk into a phone shop, and you know, the guy in the shop, he brings you 100 different phones to choose from, and you know, you have no idea which one's the best phone, which one to choose, and so on. So you get very overwhelmed, and so on. So the same thing is for trading strategies. How do we know which ones to pick, which ones that have the best chance to perform in the future? Because essentially, you know, backtests are just backtests. It's just one scenario that happened in the past, and you know that, you know, backtests don't guarantee future results, obviously, because we can't predict the future. You've got to remember, one of the secrets, you've got to stop trying to predict the future and look at it from a more scientific and data perspective, which is exactly what robustness tests, you know, allow you to sort of see and judge. Now, there's two strategies here. One is at the top, and the one that's here at the bottom. Two pretty good strategies that look, you know, from backtest perspective, but once you perform the robustness test, let's say on this one at the top, you can see it didn't do so well. And essentially what you're doing here is you're performing 100 different backtests, and you're essentially you're looking at 100 different scenarios of what could have happened, given that you're changing different parameters and different criteria related to your strategy. Here's what happened to the one at the bottom. You can see it's a lot more close together, the curves, you know, giving you very sort of similar results in all of these different, you know, simulations. Whereas this one here at the top is, you know, very dispersed, lots of very different, you know, wide-ranging results, giving you very different sort of results at the end. Now, essentially, what you can do in robustness tests is you can, you know, you can change all sorts of different things. You know, the history data, the spread, the slippage, sort of indicator parameters that are, you know, being used in your strategy, and you can vary all those things to see how robust your strategy is, how sensitive it is to all those changes. And if, like in this case here, your strategy, let's say, isn't that sensitive at all, that means in that sense, in that sort of test perspective, it's robust. Whereas in this sense here, it's not so robust, you know, gave you sort of very, very different results. So this is a sort of technique that allows you to essentially perform, you know, these stress tests and give you insight whether your strategy is going to have, you know, a more sort of a better chance to perform in the future. Now, stress testing is also used, you probably have heard, in the banking system in Greece, in Europe, to see how sort of the bank's capital position is affected, and generally how the whole banking system is affected. So what they basically do is they run like a scenario, same as here. They basically run lots of different scenarios of what would happen to all the banks, let's say in Greece, that if, let's say, the market prices, all the stock markets fell by 20-30%, what would happen to the balance sheets? How many of the banks would be undercapitalized? Because as the asset values change, so do the banks' capital positions and so on. So they do this test, they run this sort of test, and then they basically can judge that if, let's say, that market prices fell by 30%, 30 of the banks would go bust out of 100, and we would need 100 more billion to bail out the banking system and so on. So that's essentially how they judge how strong is sort of the country's capital position, financial position, and so on. And it's a very good way to sort of have some insight of what could happen in a bad scenario. Now, obviously, this is used throughout the world, not just stress tests. It's wind turbine development, pretty much any area where you can run and test different simulations, car automation. Also, if you look at any sort of area where there's movement, football, rugby, cricket, running, a robust sort of player in any of those aspects is someone who's pretty much able to perform in any condition, and given the sort of different conditions that you vary, still pretty well. So like, if I were to run 10 kilometers, and you were to, let's say, make it 90 degrees heat, if I was still able to get to the finish line in a very good result, then I'd be probably a very robust runner. You could, let's say, switch the start with the finish, maybe throw in a couple of hills, change the weather. You could do all sorts of tests for me to see, how robust I am as a runner. So, it applies to sort of every aspect in life. And usually, if you are very, very good at something, you're usually quite robust in that area as a person, or as a an athlete, or whatever sort of the area is. Now, also, robustness is a very, very good. So this is inside the tool. Robustness is also a very good thing against over-optimization. So it's one of the best defenses against sort of bias and over-optimization, which is usually what you do when you develop strategies. You usually optimize them, and you can run into all sorts of curve-fitting data bias issues, where you're drilling the strategy to the bone to sort of squeeze out the best result. And with robustness tests, you can essentially always check by varying the history data or the indicator parameters whether your strategy performs on a wide range of different parameters, and then you can judge and see very clearly if your strategy falls apart or if it doesn't. And that usually gives you a very good indication if it's over-optimized, or if you found the strategy sort of by chance or not, whether it has any significance. So it's a very, very good tool. It's sort of a 2-in-1, kill two birds with one stone, and it's one of the most important stages in trading strategy development after obviously you found all of those sort of robots. So very, very important stage. As I said, you can do all sorts of different tests, and most people obviously miss out this test because they don't know nothing about it, and they don't have even the tools to actually do this. Right, so I'm going to give you a quick demo of this as well in just a minute. And essentially, if you do this in the tool or in any other sort of process, you still have to do a lot of these stages manually. And effectively, you've got the sort of generator bringing the strategies for you. You've got the optimizer, the guys who showed you before. You've got the Monte Carlo stress testing simulations. So Monte Carlo is basically just a name for the guy who pretty much invented this sort of way of simulating different scenarios. So you can think of that as the stress testing robustness phase, where you're doing different back tests, and then you can also do multi-market robustness testing to see how your strategies perform on other data sets as well. So sort of another additional layer of robustness in a different perspective. And you'd still have to do all these stages manually. Once let's say you found strategies with the generator. Now, what if you could automate that whole sort of process? You could automate the generation, the optimization, the stress testing, the multi-market testing, and just make everything 10 times easier using a strategy funnel, and just get the strategies you need that have basically pretty much gone through this entire process. And this was just not possible pretty much anywhere. I don't know a tool that makes this where this is even possible to do with trading strategy development, but until now it is possible with this tool, and we can make everything 10 times easier. You basically just set up the bits and bobs in the generator and in your sort of strategy funnel, and effectively you've got yourself a little factory with all the different little processes happening according to your preferences. So let me, guys, give you sort of a quick demo, and then we'll get back to this slide so I can just sort of solidify this whole concept for you. Okay, here we go. So back in the Chrome browser in this Forex Robot Factory app tool, and essentially I'm going to give you a very quick demonstration of the Monte Carlo robustness testing feature, and then we'll look at the reactor mode, which is just absolutely insane. So essentially in your collection, once you've sort of clicked the strategy, you can take it through all these different stages that I mentioned previously. You've got the optimization stage, which is very, very fast, and you've got the robustness testing phase with all these different tests here on the left, which is again very, very quick. And then you've got the multi-market testing feature that allows you to test your strategy in all the different currency pairs and time frames that you've got, and so on. So essentially it's exactly what I'm going to do. Let me just load up one of the strategies that I had in the presentation, so we're sort of on the same page. Also, it's one of the great things that, once you export these strategies, you can load them back in here, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull that strategy back up, the one I had in the presentation, and here we go. That's the same strategy. Let me just give it 20 simulations so you guys see what's going on a lot easier. And you can see it's all over the place. This strategy is very, very sensitive to changes in history data, and you can just keep pressing start and stop, and it will redo the simulations. They're completely random. If you want a lot more, you can do 100. Sort of that's the limit there for speed reasons. But if you want, again, usually 20 or 30 is already enough to see what's going on, if it's your strategies all over the place or not. And if you want to do another 100, you can always do another 100. So purely for speed reasons in this app, that's why it's this way. So we just basically ran a randomized history data test, which shows us that the strategy is very sensitive to changes in history data, and we can make the tests more harsh here, or we can relax them a bit more, and they have all these different settings and features for all these different tests here. So it's a very, very powerful way of sort of seeing how robust your strategy is in terms of all those different tests. And also what you can do is you can add a validation feature here, which essentially is minimum net profit 300, maximum equity drawdown 30. And that is basically showing me now that 87 of those back tests, simulations here, only 87 of them have passed my validation sort of simulation validation criteria here, which is a really great thing, because that allows you to see how much of them are actually within sort of your target range and so on, because the scale is always changing as you're performing the tests and so on. So it's a really great thing to sort of gauge just how many of those simulations in terms of percent, so 92% out of 100 are within your sort of target. So it's purely, this is just for example's sake, and so on. I don't have time to go into all the details here with all these other tests, but I'll show you now quickly the one that is completely forgot to show you the multi-market test as well. So you can do a multi-market test on all these different currency pairs as well, and you can see how this strategy isn't so good on other currency pairs at all. Just the pound dollar one, which is this is what this currency was created on, this strategy. So I'm going to quickly take one of these that I have in the collection. Let me just change the data quickly here again, and this one you can see is a lot more tough. So this is the same example we had also in the presentation. It's a lot more tough to changes sensitivity in history data than the previous strategy, and you can see you validated 100 out of 100, even though this is not a very tough sort of filter here yet, but you can see they're totally on a different scale in terms of net profits here. So all of them are sort of past my validation. But basically, it's very, very important to, especially if you've been optimizing, to take your strategy through this phase, because that will allow you to check and verify whether you haven't over-optimized your strategy, and whether you haven't found it by chance as well. So the two main things. So robustness, very, very important. stage. And the best thing about it is that I wanted to show you the reactor mode, which is just absolutely insane feature. It will just blow your minds, guys. With the reactor mode, essentially what we can do is we can automate all these bits and bobs and processes that I just showed you. So going, for all these stages, the optimizer, the Monte Carlo, the multi-market, we can automate all of that workflow here. So all we need to do is just set it up. As you can see here, generated 500 strategies. 2 of them passed my acceptance criteria, fell into the optimizer. Only 1 of them passed the acceptance criteria there, and then that fell into their sort of robustness testing. So you can think of it like a funnel principle. So just give you a quick demo, guys. So set up your data, hourly, euro, dollar, entry lots. Choose your sort of ranges for the stop loss, take profit, generator settings, how long you want it to work for. I'm going to search for that balance, doesn't matter. You can also do in-sample and out-of-sample tests here integrated as well. I'm not going to use it for this example, but just very quickly to show you guys. Here, this is where you start your acceptance criteria, essentially your minimum sort of standards for what you want to fall into your generator, into your sort of funnel. Minimum trades 200, minimum net profit 200, minimum equity drawdown value. You can see I've relaxed this a little bit more. It's 50%. You could even make it like 60 or 70. You can make these very, very loose here, because essentially what that would mean is that a lot of these strategies that are generated will fall here into the optimization stage, and they will, the optimization feature will naturally make them a lot better than they already are. So you don't have to be very strict here with the generator, and that means they fall into your optimization stage. You can check whether you want to optimize the take profit and stop loss as well. Let's give it a bit less room to optimize. You can also do here, in-sample, out-of-sample. I'm not doing that here in this case. So if you are using in-sample, out-of-sample, you can use all data validation, which is an additional sort of step here, you can see. So we're going to use Monte Carlo. We're going to run 20 tests just for speed reasons, because we don't have much time, guys. And the validation here, this goes back to the sort of validation feature over here. If you remember how strict I want my sort of robustness the sort of phase to be, how tight I want to make that sort of bottleneck at the bottom of the funnel. And just press start, and it's generating the strategies. So 47, 1 of them passed my acceptance criteria, fell into the optimizer. The optimizer is doing its job optimizing that strategy. Sometimes this can go up to even 1,000, depending how much how much each strategy is being optimized. Purely depends upon what strategies you get, and then that falls into the Monte Carlo stage, and then if that passes, that will end up in the collection here. You see that didn't pass my criteria, so we've got a new one coming in. Net should fall into the collection. So if that doesn't fall in, I'm gonna quickly relax. It's got 5 in there. No, that didn't pass. Okay, right, that's it. Let's stop that. Just to show you guys, I'm gonna completely relax all of these validation features, and just so that you see that they actually fall in to the collection. So here's the optimizer, and then once that happens, and once it passes the collection, the Monte Carlo, it will fall into the collection here, because I basically haven't put any sort of validation there at all, so it should naturally just pass anyway. Let's give it. This one is optimizing for quite a bit, isn't it? Here we go, and there we go. 20 tests, bang, and you can see I've got 6 in there now, and that's probably one of those. Yeah. And then you can sort all of these again according to your preferences. So here I had this running for a little bit on the reactor mode, and you can see I got all of these strategies that went through sort of that funnel, and that's exactly how I found one of those strategies over here. This one that is not so sensitive to robustness tests, not so sensitive to the history data test at all. And that essentially, are you guys getting this? This basically allows you to automate the entire workflow of everything. You just need to set up your preferences, and that's it. Literally, an insane feature. And here it shows you how many of the strategies out of the ones that were calculated ascended into the collection, that had basically passed your sort of funnel. And you can see they're piling up now. I had 3 that were joined, now there's 8 in the collection. So they're sort of piling up in here now. So purely just for example's sake, guys, because we don't have much time to show you. And you can add the sort of multi-market feature as well. So you can add the data validation feature, and so on. So quite flexible to how you want to use it. Maybe you don't want to use optimization, just Monte Carlo. Really up to you guys. Quite a flexible thing. So this feature is just absolutely insane. Really, guys, nothing like this exists, and I don't think it will for a while. So really just wanted to show you a quick demo. Hope you guys sort of like this. Literally, hope your jaws have dropped, because this literally is a jaw-dropping feature. So let's get back to the presentation quickly, and we'll sort of see how that relates back to the whole sort of funnel and so on. Okay, guys, so I just wanted to show you how this whole sort of reactor mode fits in with this whole strategy funnel concept. And effectively, as you're building out these stages, the generation, the optimization, the stress testing sort of stage, what you're effectively doing is you are creating for yourself a customized strategy factory that's constantly producing strategies for you. But the best thing about it is that it's all according to your preferences, according to your stress testing criteria, according to your optimization criteria, according to your generation criteria. And so that's how it sort of goes back to this whole funnel concept. You begin with this huge universe of available, potential of strategies you can find, but it all sort of narrows down according to your preferences, according to your settings of what you want to find. And that just sort of pops out the other end, and then you just pick and choose. And then one of the other really great things about trading is that you don't have to, go straight away and trade on a live account. So a really good thing is that you can take a huge bunch of these strategies, good 20, 30, and then, incubate them on a demo account and see how they perform on a demo account, for 2 or 3 months or a week or, 6 months, really up to you. And then you can move, the best performing ones out of there into your live account. So really very, very flexible process. But that's one of the great things about trading, though, is that you can actually test this out on demo. In a lot of other different areas, you can't just test things out. You got to actually pay up a pretty large hefty fee to test anything out, because there's just no way of actually sort of simulating it. Now, our students are actually sort of loving this process as well. Getting great returns. And you have absolutely no doubt that this process works. It's literally the best way of moving yourself forward with actually developing trading strategies that work. And at the end, what happens is effectively you're not using just one strategy to attack the market. You're effectively building portfolios that are attacking the market for you, and working the market for you, instead of trying to build one best EA that is gonna bring you a lots of profits. That doesn't happen with bees, does it? You don't get one bee flying out, taking all the honey, and sort of and making it all happen. There's a swarm of bees doing the whole job. So, a lot more effective. So essentially, you're casting that huge fish net, picking out those strategies, and then trading them as they go through that sort of funnel process. And also, the great thing is that all your eggs are not in one basket, because you've got multiple strategies doing this for you on different instruments, different time frames, different currencies, and so on. So it's a really great way of diversifying sort of your risk and so on. So it's a word from one of our students, from Christian. Thanks, I really like your course. I think it changed my thinking about FX automation dramatically. Mind is now open for new things coming from you. And guys, really, this is literally the perfect solution. The Forex Robot Factory, everything 100% done for you. The fastest platform for creating expert advisors online. You got your automated creation, you got your automated backtesting, you got your automated optimization, you got your automated robustness testing, you got a way to filter out the ones that are better, and all you need to do is just wait a bit and choose the ones you like. Yeah, excellent, isn't that? So here's another word from our students. From Michael, remittance just have opened my eyes to the world of possibilities of automated trading. I have completed the course and I have already found a number of robust strategies. Looking forward to improving my live trading portfolios of EAs in the near future. Thank you, guys. This sort of brings us to a quick summary of the 3 secrets of Forex hacking. Number 1, you've got to remember to stop trying to predict the future, approach it from a data perspective, and you've got to trade Forex in the best possible way, which is basically trying to automate everything as much as possible. You've got to abandon your ideas, stop using a fishing rod and hacking away, single-handedly, manually, one by one, or programming like some people are still doing. Instead, you need to cast a huge fish net to pick out the tuna. It's a much more effective way of doing this. And you can do this with the sort of random generation principle. You can do this with an unlimited potential of trading strategies. And this brings us to our 3rd secret, our number 1 Forex hack, which effectively shows you how to 10x everything, literally how to automate things to such a level where you literally have a factory running for yourself, at making everything 10 times easier. The only thing you've got to input is basically your preferences and what you want out of it. In the past hour or so, would you guys agree it's been time well spent so far? Have you learned some great stuff? Has it been exciting? Just imagine if you had those sorts of returns of 100% or more coming in from your robot strategies. The problem is an hour or so is barely enough to scratch the surface of what it takes to get to that level. Would you like to learn more about how I can help you implement what you learned today, along with getting clarity, certainty and focus with your trading? I always recommend to invest in mentorship and learn from the best. If you wanted to climb Mount Everest, would you just fly out to Nepal with no trading and start climbing without a Sherpa guide? So why would you try to get to the heights of running Forex robots all by yourself? It just doesn't make any sense. In the last year alone, me and Remitters, we spent over $30,000 on business mentors to help us with every single aspect of the business in the company. Because we know we don't know everything. And we want to use somebody that's already been there and done that, that's going to guide us like a Sherpa and train us how to get there to the level that we want. So you kind of have 2 choices at this point. You go at this alone and spend thousands of dollars figuring this stuff out, getting frustrated and wasting years of your life, or you learn from a proven system from somebody who's actually not just done it, but actually mastered it. Before we move forward, let me talk very quickly about rich versus poor. My brother's working poor for my cousin, barely making a few $1,000s a month, and I'm constantly having to loan him money whenever anything comes up. But guess what happens when he actually has spare disposable money? He blows it on all sorts of electronics like iPads and all that other stuff. So like Robert Kiyosaki said in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, an absolutely amazing book, poor people purchase liabilities. It's just a cost to them. Money out the door and nothing comes back from that. But rich people, they invest in assets, thing that money goes into and actually turns into more money. What I offer you today is an opportunity to invest in an asset that will allow you to master trading strategies, an asset that will pay you dividends in the future. Once you master this stuff, you'll be in demand because everyone wants trading strategies that work. But hardly anyone knows how to do all this stuff because of all the old thinking that I showed you previously. So on that note, I wanted to introduce you to Forex Robot Academy, which essentially is a roadmap to guide you throughout this process. So once you join the academy, you're going to get several things. You're going to get the Forex Robot Factory application that I showed you guys in the demonstrations. So this app has got tons of features in there, and we barely went through a couple of them. And this, considering what this tool does, it's pretty cheap actually, 990 euros. But you're going to get this free for the next 12 months. So we're going to roll this out to you for free. Want to join the academy for the next 12 months? It's actually a yearly license, but you'll get it for free for a year. And then after a year, if you want to continue, you can purchase again at a special discount, or you just don't do anything. There is no automatic charge or anything like that. So all the features, we didn't have time to go through, but this is a very, very powerful application that will help you along the way to do all this stuff that I've been showing you in the past sort of hour. And what our members get is sort of all the features related to automated creation, backtesting, manual strategy checking, optimization, robustness testing, multi-market validation, and so on. We used to sort of limit that to what our members get. We have to sort of have different plans. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to throw in the automated workflow that I showed you there before, sort of the reactor mode and the validation tool, which I didn't have time to show you, but it's also a very, very awesome application there as well. You can basically chuck in a bunch of robots in there into the funnel, and it will retest sort of everything according to your preferences. So I'm going to include those in there for you just for today if you join the Academy. So this is sort of very, very special offer, and I'll give you a little bit more details on that towards the end. So with that tool, you'll be able to essentially choose what strategies will be based on according to all the sort of indicators and building blocks you want to choose, so all your sorts of preferences, and you'll be able to get all sorts of trading strategies out there, without doing anything yourself, whether it's trading, breakout, reversal. You can find all sorts of things there for you, depending upon the indicators that you choose. You can even do scalping, although I don't recommend it, but you can do scalping by choosing, very narrow sort of take profit and stop loss ranges and so on. And once you set all this up, you can automate the whole basic factory and just pick out the most viable, winning, robust trading robots. So, once you've got that, you're also going to be able to get rid of and cancel all your other tools and sort of gadgets for manual trading, which is just a waste of your money. All your manual strategy programming sort of services and testers, strategy building software, testing optimization software programmers, you can go ahead and fire them. You will no longer need to buy any more robots that are complete black boxes that you have no idea what the sort of even rules are. With the robot factory, you get white boxes. You can actually see everything inside the robot. All the rules, everything you can change. The code is yours. You can do anything you want with it. You can get rid of all sorts of indicators that you like purchasing and so on. So many people out there, they like buying all these robots and indicators, hoping that they're going to work, when in reality they have no idea what they even do most of the time. You can cancel all your analyst subscription services, your news services. Again, spending all that time trying to analyze the market, and literally you're chasing the market all the time. Forex signal services as well. You have no idea what's behind that signal, how often that strategy is being changed out. You have no idea basically what you're getting into when you're buying Forex signals and so on. So what do you need to get the basic features inside Forex Robot Factory? Well, you need strategy building software, testing software, optimization software, robustness testing software, multi-market testing software, and full workflow automation features, which absolutely don't exist anywhere else apart from this Forex Robot Factory. So, if you were to take all these bits and bobs out, by each other, they would cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. So an average member, who cancels all those sorts of features, that as I showed you before, saves from around $500 to $1,000 a month by just getting rid of all the stuff and crap they don't need, and just literally doing everything inside Forex Robot Factory. So what are you going to get? You're going to get the Forex Robot Factory 12-month account. That's 990 euros value. You're also going to get the Forex Robot Academy training course. It's a 6-week online video training course that's basically a roadmap to guide you, which basically shows you the easiest practical way to create winning robots without really any skills or testing or doing anything yourself. And this is all online, so give you access from anywhere in the world. Follows our robot development formula funnel principle, and essentially there's 6 modules in 6 weeks. So you can see there's module 1 here, module 2, module 3, module 4, 5, and 6, and they open up every week, basically not to overwhelm people with content. And effectively, in week 1 you'll have access to module 1, week 2 you'll have access to module 1 and 2, and after week 6 you'll have access to all the modules, and you'll be able to watch any of the videos at any time you want from anywhere in the world online on your iPad, your iPhone, whatever you like, anytime. So that's there to guide you throughout the way, and you'll have that access to the first module. I'm going to go through what you're going to get in the Academy very quickly. So it follows the sort of funnel principle that I showed you guys before. It's actually a 6-week robot development formula. Module 1, introduction to the development system and the sort of funnel principle, how it all works. Module 2, the testing environment setup, so getting all the data, pulling that from the broker, all the parameters and settings and so on for all the different instruments, and then plugging that into your application. Module 3, setting up your generation setup, so basically this part here, all the different bits and bobs, your acceptance criteria and so on. Module 4 is the sort of analysis phase, the optimization phase. There's all sorts of things there as well. There's a ton of content that is very, very valuable. The stress testing as well, one of the most important phases of this is here as well. Module 5, strategy incubation phase, sort of testing all those robots that have gone through the development funnel in sort of this stage on demo accounts and so on. and then you've got the live sort of last testing phase over here. All of this for 6 weeks. There's around 38 video lessons at the moment, with total value around 990 euros. There's more and more lessons coming up as new things are coming in. So obviously this app is constantly being updated. There's new things coming out all the time, and we'll be updating all the content according to that. And effectively, things are only going to get better and better and better in this tool as we get better and you guys get better, and just generally the whole process gets better. So a quick word from our students from Charvel. I've been using EA's purchase online, and most of them don't really live up to their promises. I'm so glad I found this course. Now I'm really able to produce my own portfolios of EAs. The lessons are explained really well, and even a beginner can fully understand them, thanks to Justin and Rementers. A word from one of our students who never created a trading strategy before, from Ruslan. It's a perfect opportunity to get acquainted with the software. It's actually an app, an online app, and the framework to create profit-making strategies. Undoubtedly, this course is the result of hard work, dedication, and extensive experience in the field of automated trading. Thank you for creating this invaluable guide, and good luck. Who does this work for? Well, essentially, it works for pretty much anyone out there who's a manual trader, who's got good experience there, or if you're an automated trader already, even if you're very experienced or just beginning, you'll be able to really lift your knowledge, even if you're quite experienced. Any stock traders or currency traders, obviously, if you're a stock trader, then that basically means that you can pretty much trade anything, because it's just a different asset class. It's actually even easier with currencies because they don't have such huge gaps, and the market is open pretty much 24/7, unlike stocks. So if you're a stock trader, then you can do this very, very easily. Plus the data is much easier to get for currencies than stocks as well. It's also for beginners just starting out and looking for the best possible way to do this, and people who are passionate about trading, again, looking for the fastest way in and the best sort of approach to trading. So what you're going to get, you're going to get Forex Robot Factory app, the factory, the 12-month account, 119 euros value, the Forex Robot Academy, the 6-week online video training, the total value of 1,980 euros, and we're also going to give you a robot bonus pack. So this is something that's going to help you out as well in lifting up your earnings. We'll roll this out after you've been with us for 30 days. So this is a 30 Forex Robot strategy collection made from different currency pairs, so the sort of major pairs in there, and we've added this at 100 euros per robot, so there's 3,000 value euro for all the sort of collections, the sort of portfolio there. And effectively, this is what you can sell your robots at as well. Once you get good at doing this, you can sell them for a lot more than 100, for actually 500 up to 1,000 per robot. And then you can do all sorts of things with those robots. Whether you want to do signals, whether you want to manage accounts or sell them and so on. Or teach about this as well. So there's all sorts of things that you can do once you have those working strategies. The opportunities are limitless. They open up because this is the most sort of valuable asset in sort of the strategy, and so on. So we've basically prepared this collection for you, according to our development process and funnel and so on, all the little processes that we use, and we're going to roll this out to you after you've been with us basically for 30 days. So what you're going to get, the Forex Robot Factory, the 12-month account, 990 euros value. You're going to get the Forex Robot Academy, the video training, the robot collection, the total value of 4,980 euros. And also we're going to include for you another bonus tool pack that Rementers has specifically coded for you guys. So these tools don't exist anywhere in the market. These are specifically made to do specific jobs to help you throughout the process. So essentially we're giving you this pack to help you even more along the way, because we know where you guys need the help, and this will really sort of assist you along the journey. So a broker data downloader valued at 100 euros. This will basically help you download lots of data basically pull the data from the broker with all its parameters and so on, and upload that into the app. But this will allow you to do it simultaneously, with lots of different instruments and so on. Very, very valuable app. Very easy process, all shown throughout the course. So we'll show you how to do this and set everything up very, very quickly. Forex Robot EA Launcher, this is the next thing that we're going to give you. This is also very, very valuable when you come around to launching your robots live to trade, either on demo or on live accounts. With this tool, basically what you can do is you can, with a few clicks, you can basically load all of them automatically on all the charts that you need the robots to trade on, instead of doing it manually one by one and so on. So that's basically there to speed up the launching process. And the last thing we're going to give you here in the tools pack is the My54 Book Account Analyzer, which will basically allow you to monitor all those robots on the MetaTrader 4 platform accounts in a single chart without having to upload anything online and so on. So it's a very, very useful tool. And when you start using this, you will realize why we don't use services such as MyFX Book, because we use our basically in-house My54 Book that is a lot easier to sort of handle and use when you've got lots of sort of robots trading for you and so on. So the only tools that exist on the market to do this job, and you're getting this whole tool pack with a total value of 397 euros. Huge value here. Remittance spent months creating this stuff for you guys, and we use this stuff ourselves as well. So really an invaluable tool pack to help you along the way. So what else? So what you're going to get? You're going to get the Forex Robot Factory, the 12-month account, 990 euros, the Academy, 6-week video training, the Forex Robot Collection, the Broker Data Downloader, the Robot Launcher, the MT4 Account Analyzer for a total value of 5,377 euros. And also there's another thing that I've guys got prepared for you, because as soon as people start going on a training, they're always asking about brokers and so on, which is the best broker to use. And so I've given you guys another bonus here for the Forex Broker Insights. So it's a Forex Broker Crash Course. It's an online video training course with 10 video lessons with a total value of 200 euros. And so one of the comments here, one of the guys in the videos, one of the most useful videos I have seen in regards with trading. Thank you. So essentially I did a load of research here to compile this for you guys, and this sort of explains the whole process, how brokers work, whether it's STP, CM broker, DMA broker, what are the different types, what are the hybrid models like, how did this all start, how does it work, how do you check whether your broker is not a dealing desk or not, the licensing and so on. So there's loads of really valuable course when you're starting out and you're choosing sort of the broker to work with and so on. So this is sort of going to really help you along the way, so you sort of you can get started much quicker in that sort of sense. So what you're going to guys get, you're going to get the Forex Robot Factory, you've got to get the Academy, the Robot Collection, the Broker Data Downloader, the Robot Launcher, the Account Analyzer, the Broker Crash Course, the total value of 5,577 euros. And there's one more thing, the last more thing that we're going to throw in for you that is very important, and that's support as the last sort of bonus. We usually charge our clients 300 euros per hour, so we're giving you guys one Skype hour here as well, support slot, and we're also giving you a forum that you can access and that will be there every single Tuesday. This forum is located inside the video training course online in the Forex Robot Academy. So once you access the video course, there'll be a place where you can ask us questions in this forum, and we'll be there every Tuesday to help you along the way. I know how valuable it is to have someone that you can ask questions, because I remember when we started out, there was nobody to help us, and it was very difficult to sort of figure everything out ourselves. So we know how valuable it is to have sort of support and being able to ask questions for someone to help you along the way. So that's extended for you for 12 months. So there's considerable value here. The total value of the support package is 900 euros in total. So what you're going to get the Robot Factory, you're going to get the Academy, you're going to get the Robot Collection, the Broker Data Downloader, the Robot Launcher, the Account Analyzer, the Broker Crash Course, the Skype consultation, and the 12-month support Ask Anything forum. It's extended for you for 12 months, so you can ask us any question there anytime you wish, and we'll be there every Tuesdays to help you out, guys, for a total value of 6,477. So if all this did was give you the ability to create new strategies on demand for 2-to-1 return or better, would it be worth it? If all this does would give you the dependability and consistency of income, so you can count on strategies growing each year instead of staying stagnant or declining, would it be worth it? If all this did was allow you to create strategies that you desire and trust, so your accounts stay active, would it be worth it? I just want to ask you a question. What's one good strategy worth to you? One good strategy. Is it 1,000, 3,000, 5,000 more? It really again depends on how big your trades are and how big your accounts are. It really does depend on that. But how much would you pay to get one profitable strategy per day, one profitable portfolio per week? You can see why other clients, pay us 2,000 euros just for a full day consultation. Here's David here, who came over from Brazil. He has a huge team there that do all this stuff as well. Remittance Justin have experienced great experience in automated trading and strategy development. The consultation they were spent together was great, very helpful because we're very transparent, and they gave us a lot of details. This knowledge improved me and my team significantly. So Remittance also charges 300 euros per hour just for programming services for clients. So this is roughly what it would sort of cost you as well to get a good strategy program for you. And this is what people still do to this day. They get programmers to create strategies for them, and they pay 300 or 400 euros or even 1,000 or 2,000 and so on. So with this tool, you can create hundreds of thousands of strategies at a fraction of the cost. Literally, it's just insane. And here's a word from one of our students. I had a bit of fear-making disorder because I didn't speak fluent English, but after watching the video lessons, I realized that I made the right choice. Now I'm learning quickly to become a profitable trader and have more free time to devote to my hobbies and interests. So here's what you're going to get. You're going to get the sort of Forex Robot Factory again, 12-month account value, 990 euros, Forex Robot Academy, 6-week video training course, the Forex Robot Collection, the broker data downloader script, the robot launcher application, the Mind to 4 book, account analyze application, the Forex Robot Factory, Forex Broker Crash Course, 200 euro value, the 1-hour Skype consultation, the 12-month support Ask Anything framework, and for a total value of 6,477 euros. Now, I'm not going to ask you guys to pay this, but it would be a very, very good deal at 4,000 euros, right? But I'm not going to even ask you to pay 4,000 or even 3,000 euros. You can get started now for just 1,495 euros today, but I'm going to go one step further for you guys, since you've been in this webinar throughout all this time, and you've come up here and you're sort of one of our members now in a way. We're going to give you guys just for this webinar, and this will be expiring very, very soon, so look out for the sort of signals in the emails. This deal will be closing. We're going to give you a $500 discount to incentivize you to join this program even more, or 3 payments of 499 euros. So there's either one payment of 997 or 3 payments of 499. And you can click the button below, to the right. It will be located in the chat. You can click on the button, and that will take you to our best offer that we have ever compiled in history, and or you can go straight to the forexrobotacademy.com deal, and that will take you to the page where you can access this deal. Now, very, very importantly, also, just to get people moving, because I like people who make decisions. As I mentioned before, for the first 50 people, what our members get when they join Forex Robot Academy, they get Forex Robot Factory, but we used to sort of limit this to sort of just some of the basic features there, the generator optimizer, the Monte Carlo, the multi-market, and so on. And we only used to give that sort of different plan there. But for the first 50 people, if you guys take it as soon as possible, there's only 50 slots there available. If you take it there now, we're going to include for you guys the reactor mode, which is sort of the whole automation workflow, which is absolutely priceless, and the validator tool. So basically you will have all the features that are there in this app included for you, and you get it all free with your investment today. So it's only for the first 50 people that are going to make this decision fast. So I want to incentivize guys. So this is the bribe, guys, to get you moving. Also, we give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's 100% risk-free. So I guarantee for you guys this is going to be the best training course you have ever seen to this date in terms of creating Forex trading robots. And if in any moment you don't like this at all, you can always cancel within 30 days if you're not satisfied, and we'll give your money back. No harm, no foul. We're happy to give it back. So you have two choices. First option, do nothing and don't take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free. Or second option, pony up the small investment today compared to all the value you'll get in return, and just give it a shot, give it a try, and that's it. forexrobotacademy.deal. That's where it's located. Again, 50 slots open for the guys who really want all the full features for everything with this tool. And here's a quick word from one of our students. Charles, many thanks for the course. The course has enabled me to start developing quality strategies, and it's been worth several times the purchase price. So he understood, obviously, what it means to be able to create strategies like this that fast, the value of this tool. The real question is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time just to check this out? What if it does, even half of what I've claimed today on this webinar? It will basically pay for itself. As soon as your first robust portfolio is live, this whole thing will literally pay for itself. And after a year, after 12 months, we don't do any sort of automatic charge or anything. You can literally, you don't have to. You can either continue your license again, or there'll be a sort of special deal for our students, or you just don't do anything, and that's it. There is no automatic charge or anything like that. So once you invest in this package today, you're going to get all of those things here as the bonuses. You'll have the access to the Forex Robot Factory straight away, and you'll have the access to the Forex Robot Academy straight away. And the first week of the module will be open to you to watch straight away, and the rest will open up in the weeks coming for 6 weeks. Then you'll get, after 30 days you've been with us, the Forex Robot Collection, and some of the other bonuses as well. So please, guys, take advantage of this insane package that we've got prepared for you guys. I don't think we're gonna offer anything this good ever again. There's a word from one of our students, Aaron, from Authentic Effects. Anyone looking for a mentor in difficult art of automated trading, Forex trading strategy creation will not do better than enlist in Remitters and Justin as their guides. So here we go, guys. We're sort of moving into the Q&A very quickly. So just a quick recap. What you're going to get there is you're going to get the 12-month account for the factory. You're going to get the access to the academy, the robot collection, the broker data downloader, the launcher, the account analyzer, the crash course, the consultation, and the 12-month Ask Anything forum. The total value of 6,477 euros. And you can get started now for today for just 997, which is an absolutely insane deal, getting all the features in the Forex Robot Factory for the first 50 people that sign up today. And so again, I'm just getting all the sort of questions coming in from the chat moderator, and we will sort of try and answer it here within this sort of 30-minute slot that I've got. Hopefully we'll finish earlier than that. And let's get going. I can see sort of the first questions piling up in there. Do you have a payment plan? Yes, just sort of mentioned it before. There is the 3 payments for $4.99. It's located at the link above, forexrobotacademy.deal. And what's the next thing? Do you offer wire transfer payment? Yes, we do. You can contact us up by email, and then we'll sort of exchange details, and we can handle that as well. So please do email support@forexrobotacademy.com if you do want to do a wire transfer. Am I one of the top 50? Yes, you guys, you're still slots there left. I can see. So John is sort of calculating all of these right now. How are we doing, John? Yeah, I think yeah, we've got a few spaces definitely left. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, you're definitely in there. So you're fine. Just take advantage of this deal. I can't afford 97 right now. Well, if you can't afford 97 right now, that means you probably need to afford it even more. And it's not a question of, there's 2 ways of thinking about it, and this goes back to Rich Dad Poor Dad's book, Robert Kiyosaki. You can either look at a question in one way, I can't afford it, or you can look at it, how can I afford this? And it's 2 different mindsets. And looking at a way of how can I afford this is someone who is willing to progress a lot more. Try and share share the cost with your friends or something. You can share the academy online video training as well. We can let more than 2 or 3 users on there if you wish. And you try and share the cost. Use Visa, MasterCard, whatever you can get your hands on, just to give it a try. And if that doesn't work out, then it's 100% risk-free for you guys. So it should be a question of, how can I afford this, or I can't afford this right now. That's the mindset of poor people, and that's essentially how it works. When do we get access to the bonuses? We get access to the bonus after you've been with us for 30 days. So as I mentioned, you'll get access to the factory and the academy straight away, and some of the other sort of tools there. But effectively, the sort of robot collection and broker crash course and some of the other things will be delivered to you after 30 days. Who owns the robot and its rights? Well, you basically own everything. You can do anything with the robot. You export it, change the code, use the code, change the rules, remove the copyright information. You can sell it. You can use it for PAM accounts. You can use it for signals. You can do whatever you want with it. It's all yours. And yeah, basically an asset that you can redistribute. How long will this take to learn? This will probably take you to learn about a couple of weeks. Within 6 weeks, you should pretty much know everything there is about this and how to use the tool and so on. Is it also a trading platform?